Hey guys, Rasmus back here again. This time I'm going to show you some cards, but not in the way you might suspect or expect. I'm doing a video response, a dual video response for Purple GT and Gathman. I tried making it a little bit different, so hopefully you'll enjoy it. So instead of watching my face sitting and rambling about stuff, I'm going to do it in a card way, actually. So let's get started. Gathman wants to know your favorite event you've been to, sporting event, and Purple GT, he wants to know what kind of hobbies you have. So I thought I'd go through how my hobbies have evolved during, well, my life. And as you can see here, it's a goalie for a soccer team, and that's how I started when I was a kid. I started playing soccer when I was about 5 or 6 years old, and since my dad was an old goalie, both in soccer and hockey, he taught me how to be a very good keeper, actually. But as time went, I didn't really feel like I wanted to be a goalie, so I tried to be an outfield player. So I started as a defender, but it wasn't really my thing. First of all, if you've seen the size of me, well, I wasn't that big back then when I switched over, but I was still a fairly tall and fairly, well, big guy after all. So I just decided to become a striker, and it kind of worked. A lot of thanks to my height and my power in my legs, because I wasn't a very good runner, but I could shoot. And thanks to my size, I could, fend off most of the defenders and people that were trying to take the ball away from me. But at the same time, I got asked to join a handball team. If you don't know what handball is, it's the sport where you you use your hands and toss the ball around. It's in the Olympics, by the way. So, oh god damn it, Ricky, not here again. It's somewhat similar to basketball, but instead of a hoop, you have a goal, just like in soccer. So yeah, that was pretty much what my life was around when I was growing up. It was sports. Watched a lot of Italian soccer. I played soccer. I played handball. I also got into watching some wrestling, actually. That was back in early 90s. And from this point on, it was still mainly sports. So I started to follow a team, or watch a team, called Malmö Redhawks, or Malmö Redhawks, wherever you want to pronounce it. And I actually started my collecting of cards back then as well. So for most of the time, after the games, me and my friends used to, go down to the players and ask if we could get some autographs on cards and stuff. So a lot of IP, actually. It was a lot of fun because I got a ton of different kind of autos from players that have played in the NHL and the Swedish Elite League, and a lot of nice cards, actually, with a nice pair of autos. And from this point on, I also started getting interested in computers and gaming and a lot of other stuff, but somehow I just kept on with watching a lot of hockey. Eventually I quit playing soccer, I quit playing handball, and my only thing was that I was following Malmö Redhawks. And here's the point where I'm going to include Gathman or his video response contests, because when I was following Malmö Redhawks, I was also a writer for a fan site, and it almost seemed like the more I wrote, the worse they got. So from they had played in the Swedish Elite League, they went downwards, down to the second league, and they missed the playoffs up to the Elite League. And at that point, the team was almost out of money. They were bankrupt. They had no other choice but to ask all the players to leave or get another job, because they wouldn't get paid for the next couple of months. So a lot of the star players left, and all we had left was the juniors and some of the players that, well, they had a good amount of money and didn't feel like moving anywhere. So in that turbulent time, they were still in the season, so they had to play. And in that first game, the players had left, all the star players, and it was only the juniors left. No one was expecting them to, well, not to win. They didn't think they would score. They thought they would lose with 5, 6, 7, 8 goals. But guess what? They did win. And they did score one goal really early, and then they scored another goal a bit later. But the atmosphere there, from having about, well, 7,000 or 8,000 people per game, there was barely 4,000 at the game. And the atmosphere there and the heart that the players showed was really intense. And that's probably one of my best memories from sports all around. It's not a big event. It's not a lot of goals or a player that does something incredible. It's just the team and the heart and all the effort they put into that game and the atmosphere around it. It was just amazing. So I had the fortune of seeing it in one of the boxes, since I was writing for a fan site. So I had a great view, and the sound in there in Malmö Stadium or Malmö Arena is incredible, and the noises that the fans and the players created when they cheered for the goals, it was incredible. You have to have been there to believe it even. So yeah, that's my absolutely most favorite sporting event ever I've been to. After that, I continued following them for a couple of years, and at the same time I started college, if you could call it that, and I decided to go into something called sports science, and at the same time I started being not a team manager, but a guy who helped around a lot, not just carrying bottles of water and stuff like that, just helping out with the website and a lot of other things that they needed help with, especially when they needed something written down on the homepage or something like that. And yeah, so I dropped the Redhawks point and moved on. Unfortunately, there's no such thing as floorball cards, because that was the thing I was following or into right there and then. as time progressed, I felt that I needed something else to do besides sports. So I actually looked into cards again, but not these same old hockey cards that I started collecting in soccer and hockey, um, but non-sport cards. And they really are the foundation to why I'm collecting what I am collecting today. Because from cards like this, I discovered cards like this that had autographs. And since then, my main hobby, besides my work nowadays, because I did quit my school or college because I didn't put in the hours and effort that really was needed to complete it. So I started working instead, buying non-sport cards, still following some type of sport. When the Swedish team won the Olympics and the World Cup, and yeah, you know, the usual things they always do. And also regular, well, national football or soccer, and hockey and the Olympics and stuff like that. And that's been the key point during my entire life, has been sports. But also, I need to say, gaming and the computers has also been a big part. And from collecting only non-sport cards, I got back into sports cards, and well, as most of you know, I've been collecting baseball since November, and that's where I am right now. I usually tend to focus on one thing when I have a hobby. So right now it's well, it's sports cards and mainly baseball, and that's where I'm right now. I don't have much more time than working and looking at breaks, helping out, collecting cards, buying cards, things like that. So that's my main hobby. Well, and the occasional computer game as well. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this little story time. Many thanks to Purple GT and to Mike, Gathman, for your really interesting contest, because this is the, well, it's the side that I have had very little time to get to know you guys here on YouTube. I've been looking at cards and trying to follow as many as possible and learn stuff and get to know guys as much as I can, but these contests makes it easier for me to, well, get to know you, who you are. And so I hope that this little segment gave you some kind of idea what kind of person I am, or what I've been doing my entire life. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Like, subscribe, comment, do whatever you wanna. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.